Hey, what up, y'all? Mr. Cruz here, the hardest worker in the room. In today's video, I wanted to share the story with you guys. You guys voted over on my YouTube channel on what the next video you wanted to see is, and you guys voted. You wanted to hear the story of how I sold my first beat.
I'm rich.
So there's kind of two stories, in fact. The very first beat that I actually sold was to a good friend of mine, and I had just been posting beats for a little while, and I know he was an artist, and he was super dope, and I wanted to work with him. So I reached out to him. I was like, hey man, I'm making beats, like, can I send a couple beats your way, see what you think? And eventually he hit me back, and he was like, hey man, I'm kind of looking for a beat that sounds like this. He sent me this song, so I made a beat similar to it, made him a custom beat, and then he was like, how much for it after it was all said and done? And at the time, I didn't really know what pricing a beat was really like. I seen what other people was doing, what other people were doing, but I didn't feel comfortable sitting there and charging somebody like, yeah man, give me $500 for the exclusive, when it's like, I really haven't proven myself. I don't have the value to be able to attach to a $500 beat. So I think I had told him, I was like, I'll give you the exclusives for $100.
You're so dumb. You are really dumb, for real.
And I was like, all right, bet. So then, like, that was literally my first sale. And I think I made that about 3 to 6 months into making beats. All right. I don't really count that as my first sale. As a matter of fact, after that had happened and I went 2 years without a sale, I had, started complaining and stuff like that to my wife about it. She was like, well, most people's first customers, in businesses are people that they know, friends and families that want to show support. So afterwards, I kind of started grinding, started doing things a little bit differently. So what I would start doing is I would go on social media and I would just like start searching hashtags and, say like, trap rapper, boom bap rapper. And then I would just find artists that I, kind of connected with, whether it was like something about their brand or their image that I kind of liked. And then I would just kind of start connecting with them, and I wouldn't tell them anything about beats. I would not say, hey, can I send you some beats and stuff like that? I none of that. I literally just I wanted to find artists who I thought I could connect with, who lined up with my sound and my style and my brand, and then eventually just start building a relationship with them. And that really worked. So I found this guy. I don't want to say his name and stuff like that.
Don't call him my government name.
But I found this guy and I really, really liked his stuff. So I just started messaging him, and he was like, hey man, I heard your album. I listened to your album. This song really, really slaps, man. It was really my favorite. I was at the gym today. I had it on repeat, and that's a true story, actually. And so he was like, oh man, thank you so much. We just kind of started vibing back and forth. I found out that, he's in an interracial marriage. I'm in an interracial marriage. He's got kids. I've got kids. He's the sole income winner, the breadwinner. I'm the breadwinner. We're about the same age. We grew up listening to a lot of the same music. So we had a whole lot to connect us there.
Pause.
So a couple of months down the line, he sees me, posting beats and stuff like that. And then so he was like, yo, man, I like that beat. How much for it? And then that's eventually how I ended up landing my first sale. Now, I say all of that to say this. That didn't happen until about 2 years after I started uploading beats to a website and a YouTube and all this other stuff. And I hit up a lot of artists in between those 2 years. So I hit up a lot of people, and I realized that in the beginning that I was shooting from the hip. I was trying to reach out and hit up anybody and everybody, because all I really wanted was, I wanted to land the sale. I wanted, that $30, that $50 in my bank account, to be able to, not flex, but I just wanted to be able to feel good that I made a sale. What I realized is that when I kind of started streamlining my process and really focusing on artists, one that I liked, an artist whose music I could connect with, and people whose brands lined it up with my brands, it really became a heck of a lot easier in order for me to start to build my clientele. Because what happens is it really sucked, because early on I had sold a beat to a friend of mine, and he had it was like a posse track. He had a whole bunch of people on it. And they released a video and all this other stuff, and the song was dope, but it didn't line up with my brand. So I couldn't post that for fear that, I'm going to alienate the people who do support me. And then I not say I could get in trouble, but I am a teacher. So not only that, but even outside of all those aspects, I probably wouldn't post it because it's not really music that I like. And so when I really finding people that line up with my brand was really, really helpful, because then, you know, when my friend, who eventually like was the first person who bought a beat from me, first stranger to buy a beat from me, like when they post stuff, I'm happy to share it, because like I agree with it. I line up with it. If I post it, nobody's gonna like give me any flack. Like, yo, man, like, you know, that song doesn't really represent what you represent and stuff like that. So, so then eventually I didn't really get a whole lot of traction from it, but I kept doing the same thing. I kept reaching out to artists, networking, scheduling specific times during the week in order to really dedicate, you know, a daily chunk of time to networking. And eventually, you know, I started going, I think like the best time that I've had was probably during, it sounds weird, but like during quarantine summer, because I was like landing a sale every single week.
Coronavirus!
Now that kind of has died out a little bit. I still end up getting a sale, you know, at least once a month. But there you go. Hopefully that story is helpful, maybe inspiring to you. But I definitely want to say, out of like the about 3.5 years that I've been at it, one, don't quit, because a lot of it is just outlasting people. I kind of started making beats alongside of a couple of other people when I saw them doing it, and then I started doing it, and like posting it and like, you know, getting the beat stars and all that stuff. Eventually what's going to happen is you're going to outlast a lot of people, because the people that I kind of started out with kind of fell off after like, you know, a year. They're like, oh, I'm not making any money, so I quit. Not knowing that like for me, 2 years later, like I would have like I would have my best month, where, you know, I made almost what I would make at my job. So, in a month. So it was, keep at it, don't quit. And one thing that I'm kind of figuring out that I'm probably going to do is like kind of change up stuff in my brand a little bit. Because now I know my beats slap.
High five.
People aren't like having a connection with my brand, then like it doesn't matter how hard my beats are. If I'm not marketing and branding myself really well, then none of it is going to be like amount to anything. So that's also something that you should also consider, is like change up your brand if you're finding out that what you're doing is not working. Anyways, that's what I got for you guys. Let me know in the comments below what you guys think and how long it took you to sell your first beat. All right, it's your boy Mr. Cruz, out.